Welcome to Arsenal Kids Podcast.
Hello and welcome to Arsenal Kids Podcast. My name is Madi and I'm joined by my co-host Ben. And it's great for you to join us on this episode.
Yes, hello listeners. I was flying solo last time around, but it is great to welcome you to episode number 145.
Thanks, Ben. And what are we talking about in Arsenal Kids Podcast this time around?
Well, Maddie, we missed an episode as I was away. So in part one, we're going to look at how the men's team took on and defeated Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League at home.
And then in part two,
we will focus on how the men's team came from behind to beat Southampton at home 3-1. And then in part three...
And three? Have we ever had a part three?
I think we did in one other episode along the way, but don't ask me which one.
Which one?
I said don't ask that because I honestly have no idea. But in part three, we're going to look at our women's team who had a disappointing goalless draw against Everton.
A lot of football to cover.
There is indeed, and just a quick reminder to you to help us to grow our Arsenal Kids community and not miss when we have new episodes. You can do that through telling other people about us, liking, reviewing and sharing our podcast with others, or by following us on social media.
We would love for you to join us in this adventure together.
We would indeed. And Maddie, straight to the men's team where we played in the Champions League at home for the first time this season. And it is always great to have that Champions League anthem pumping at the ground, and the home crowd supporters also loved it as they inspired our team right from the beginning.
And it took us over 20 minutes to open the scoring.
It did. Leandro Trossard, who had a really good game, picked up the ball from the halfway line and was allowed to bring it into the final third. Looking up, he spotted the run of Havertz and his pass was pinpoint, allowing our big German to beat Donnarumma in the PSG goal to the ball to head it into the net to give us the advantage.
And Havertz was brave to go to the ball, for the ball.
He was, but the cross from Trossard was superb as it tempted the keeper just enough to come, and Havertz cushioned the ball perfectly to give us the lead. It led PSG to step the game up a notch, and they came close with a shot beating David Raya but hitting the post, and another one called on Raya to make a save from a tight angle. But just as PSG were looking to make a comeback into the game, we grabbed a second goal.
And it was a direct free kick from Saka that went into the net.
But it was not as simple as it sounds. I think we haven't scored direct from a free kick for around 3 years. But this one was clearly a set-piece play as all the Arsenal players lined up towards the back post and ran across towards the front post across the line of the ball, leaving the keeper not sure if it was going to take a touch along the way. And in the end, Donnarumma, the goalkeeper, he looked a bit ordinary as the ball hit the back of the net from such a long way out from goal. But another amazing set piece from the Gunners, and it meant the team went into the halftime break 2-0.
And from there, we never really looked like a losing game.
That's right, Maddie. Just after an hour, we also got our first sight of our new signing, Mikel Merino, who is recovered from the shoulder injury he sustained in his very first training session. And despite PSG being a bit better in the second half, the Gunners battened down the hatches, claimed another clean sheet, meaning we had back-to-back clean sheets to start off our Champions League campaign, the first time we've done that since 2007. And it means that we move on to 4 points from our opening 2 games, putting us into 13th place with 6 games left to go in the league phase.
Okay, well, let's leave it there for part 1 and we'll be right back after this with part number 2.
Welcome back to part number 2, and we are still with the men's team as after the midweek game against PSG, they lined up on the weekend to play Southampton at home.
And it meant a return to Emirates Stadium for our goalkeeper, Aaron Ramsdale,
who we only just sold to the Saints at the beginning of the season. And the first half was pretty much, you could say...
forgettable.
You can say that again.
Forgettable.
Yep, that is exactly what it was. We had lots of possession and a number of chances, but nothing really that troubled their keeper nor troubled our keeper, so the teams went into the sheds level and it was hoped that a Mikel Arteta team talk would supercharge our side, despite the changes which included Sterling and Jesus starting the game into our favour against a team, Southampton, that was yet to win this season.
But it was the worst start to the second half when Archer scored for the visitors.
Yes, Maddie. Less than 10 minutes in, the Saints snatched the lead as Sterling was dispossessed and the clipped ball over the backline was for Archer and it allowed him to run onto the ball for Southampton before his shot took a deflection off the underside of Saliba's boot to just move it out of the way of Raya and allowed it to nestle in the net.
We need a respond to lift the team and the crowd.
And it didn't take long to get it. I think it was around 3 minutes. And it was Havertz, whose red-hot form in front of goal continued as Saka tackled or intercepted a ball just in front of halfway. And first time he fed it to Havertz, who took a touch, beautiful touch, around the defender on the edge of the box and hammered the ball into the back of the net to level the scores at 1-1 and give the Gunners some hope moving forward as he scored in his 7th straight home league game. Arteta then rang some changes with Martinelli, Trossard and Merino entering the field, and it took just 8 minutes for Martinelli to make an amazing run onto what was really just an even better cross from Saka to hit the ball past Ramsdale and into the net and make it 2-0. A lengthy VAR check ensured that he was onside, and I guess one silver lining of the VAR is that sometimes attackers get to celebrate their goals twice.
But the Gunners were not done yet, as Saka sealed the win.
Yep, Trossard, he went on a run, and rather than pass the ball either side of the defenders, he got caught on it. He dwelled on it just a little bit too long, but the ball, it squirted out to Saka, and he first time buried it beyond the keeper, giving him no chance, and the Saints no chance of getting back in the game, as he rounded it off for a 3-1 victory for the Gunners.
And next for the team, Ben?
Well, Maddie, the men's team, they head into an international break, which we'll cover off in our next episode, before they return in 2 weeks' time to play Bournemouth away from home in the Premier League.
Okay, well let's leave it there for part 2, and we'll be right back after this with part number 3. Welcome back, and Ben, let's talk about our women's team who has a disappointing draw in the Super League.
Okay, Maddie, and the game at the Emirates Stadium saw Katie McCabe fire over from distance with our first chance before Emily Fox's cross hit the crossbar. A little bit accidentally, I don't think she deliberately was having a shot, but it was all Arsenal for most of this game. Kyra Cooney-Cross then showed off some nice footwork and one-touch play with her teammates in the penalty box, but her final shot went wide of the post on this occasion.
Then we had a chance for Everton game the ball away.
Yeah, it was good pressure from the forwards, but Mariona's shot was straight at the keeper. Another save then, this time from a shot from Mornham, kept the Toffees in it before they had a chance of their own before the halftime interval, as a break saw their forward have a shot that had to be pushed onto the bar and the roof of the net by Daphne von Domselaar, who was in our goal.
And in the second half, we had more chances.
But we failed to put any of them away. Mornham fired towards goal with power, but it was caught by the Everton keeper. And then a triple change from our head coach, Jonas Eidevall, tried to lift our side. It didn't do that much to change the trajectory, as we had a number of speculative shots from distance, with the close of them coming from Ford, who was on a very tight angle, and she hit the crossbar again for the Gunners, who could just not get past Everton's defence and fashion good chances or make the breakthrough on this occasion.
And what does it mean for the team, Ben?
Well, the positive side is that we're yet to lose this season, but we also only have 5 points from our first 3 games, meaning we're currently in 6th in the Women's Super League, and we have to do much better against average opposition if we are going to challenge for the title. So hopefully our head coach can adjust his tactics for our upcoming games against similar opposition.
And next up for the team,
Well, next up for the team, Maddie, they're away at Bayern Munich for their first Women's Champions League group stage game this season, which is going to be in midweek, before on the weekend The ladies, the women, they're going to be hosting Chelsea at Emirates Stadium in the Super League.
Okay, well, let's wrap it up for this episode. Thanks again for joining us at Arsenal Kids Podcast.
Before we sign off, though, we want to express our gratitude to you for your continued support. If you haven't already, follow, like, and subscribe so you don't miss us in the future. Remember, your love for the beautiful game is what fuels our passion.
And we would love for you to spread the word about Arsenal Kids Podcast.
Yes, please share our podcast with other Arsenal kids you know and help us to grow this amazing community together.
We hope to join you back on the pitch again soon.
Keep the spirit of the game alive, and until next time.
Goodbye.